Hi, I'm John. Welcome to Twig Archery. Hey, today we want to talk a little bit about the Black Hunter Longbow, and I know I've made some videos on this in the past, probably 2 or 3 videos, but I wanted to make a few corrections on things and let you know on kind of some updates that we've got going on. And first of all, I wanted everybody to know that I believe in one of the videos that we first made that I mentioned the riser was made out of action wood. Action wood is not really what the riser is made out of. The riser is made out of diamond wood. Action wood is layers of wood that are glued together, and that's that, so to speak. Diamond wood is multiple, very thin layers that are glued together and compressed under tremendous pressure. It's a manufactured process in order to get the durability that's really what they're reaching for. And my understanding is now that the diamond wood, which is used in the Black Hunter, not action wood like I originally had said in one of our first videos, that was my fault, but the diamond wood is becoming very hard to come by. Some bowyers I've talked to says it's getting to be very difficult to find. So that's one thing I just wanted to make that clear to everybody. The riser is diamond wood. Diamond wood is stronger than action wood. So we got diamond wood in the riser. And also I wanted to take a second here on the string. The string is not a B50 like originally I thought, because nobody seemed to know what the Black Hunter strings were. But generally, any bow that's under $300, $350 is generally going to be a B50 Dacron. But as it turns out, I end up talking to the manufacturer, it's not the case. This is string on the Black Hunter is a Dyneema. Dyneema is a fast flight material. It's used by some of your top archers in the world today. I did some research on it and found out that, a lot of your Olympic shooters and other top shooters are using it today. The Dyneema is only manufactured, the actual string material itself is only manufactured in 2 countries in the world, and the United States is not in there. It's Japan and China. So if you have a fast flight string nowadays, chances are that it's going to be from Dyneema, and it's coming, the basic material is coming from either Japan or China, and then it's made into a string here in the United States by some very large companies that we have. So that's kind of the update on the string that I found out. So the next thing was, this bow is such a nice shooting bow, and we have so many guys that have left great feedback on our website about the bow. I personally I felt it was a very nice shooting bow, but now I'm really getting more feedback from guys, and it's really turning out to be really, a super nice shooting bow, according to everybody that's left me feedback. My whole thinking was, is there any way that I could possibly make the Black Hunter Longbow better than what it is right now, with maple core limbs and the riser and everything, the way it's designed. And really there was only one thing I could possibly change, and even thought about changing, because everything else seemed so nice and everybody seemed to like it so much, would be the core in the limbs themselves. Okay, so the Black Hunter Longbow comes with the maple core, and so I thought, I know a lot of custom bowyers in the United States, and I know a lot of custom bowyers that are going to a different material in the core here to improve performance. Maybe not a great deal, but anything they can get for performance, meaning a little bit more speed, they'll go for it. So a lot of your top bows, custom bows, this is very expensive bows, have gone to bamboo in the core. So I thought, well, why don't we try this and see if we can do this. So I talked to the manufacturer, they said they could do it, so we've got the bamboo in the core of the limbs. Looking at the limbs, if you take one out, you could just, of course this is unstrung, but if you just looked at it, you'll see that they're very similar to each other as far as the coloration. Bamboo's slightly lighter in color, and very difficult to tell if it's bamboo or not. But usually on the end here, the limb butt, if you look at it, you can see a lot of little, almost like dots in there, whereas the maple doesn't have that. So that's one way to really tell if it's bamboo or not. Now what we've done here is we're marking all these limbs as twig bamboo. So everybody knows that they're getting bamboo limb and not maple core. Generally, they would never, limbs just, they don't come with anything written on there at all, other than maybe a name there and the poundage at 28 inches. And so, but we're marking ours so everybody knows that's what they are. They're bamboo, because we want everybody, because you got to be careful you don't get these things mixed up with each other. So we're marking them bamboo. Also, another thing that we're doing here at Twig Archery is we're taking the limbs, we're putting them on a bow, stringing the bow up. I put them under the bow scale to determine exactly what the poundage is. But sometimes your manufacturers can be off a little bit on the poundage that's written on the bows. But what we're doing is we're trying to stick within the same, you know, over the years, most bowyers, custom bowyers, want a 2-pound leeway. In other words, if you order a 50-pound bow, you get a 48, 49, a 50, 51, 52. Bow would be marked 50, but it still could be a 51 or 52, even though it's marked 50. But what we're doing is we're marking the actual poundage that the limbs are. And now if they're within 2 pounds, we don't change it. But if they're changed, in other words, if they're marked 35 and they're 38, no, then we're going to change them to 38 pounds. And it would be written right down here, 38 pounds at 28 inch draw. So I think that's a pretty important thing. And most of your custom bowyers would be doing the same thing. But like I said earlier, a lot of times they have trouble hitting that exact weight that a person orders. So that's what we're going to be doing there. So, and as far as performance goes, what have we seen so far? Well, what I've seen so far is in chronographing, is there is an improvement with speed with the bamboo, which I figured there would be. The thing is, I really, you know, when I made maybe the last video or 2 videos ago of chronographing for speed, I was using that 1816 arrow, and I also used the same identical arrow this time when I chronographed the bamboo. But the temperature outside was different, and that's critical. Back when I did the maple core limbs, the temperature was around 38, 39 degrees. When I chronographed the bamboo, it was 85 degrees. Well, it's quite obvious through testing that I've done, the hotter the temperature outside, the slower the bow, the more speed you lose. And that's just because the heat gets to your black glass and it just slows things down. So I haven't had a chance to really do these yet at like a 38, 39 degree temperature. Hopefully here in the fall I can do that, and then I'll be able to tell. But even though these limbs have been tested at 85 degrees, they still were 2 to 4 feet per second faster than the maple core limbs. So that's a real good thing. So I'm thinking that, you know, when we get these limbs out, these are bamboo of course, when we get these bamboo limbs out there in that temperature of 38, 39, 40, whatever it might be, we're going to even gain a little bit more speed than we are right now. So that's a good thing. But that's to come in the future after I do a little bit more testing when the temperatures cool down. Heat, remember this, heat slows the arrow down, slows your bow down. Cool weather brings up the speed a little bit. So that's pretty important. But right now we're even faster with the bamboo, even in a warm temperature. So that's a good thing there. So I guess that's all I want to say was, other than we do have the bamboo limbs in stock now, from 35 to 55 in 5-pound increments. So if anybody's interested in those, all they have to do is check out our website, Twig Archery, and you can see what's available. The inventory is going down a little on the quicker side than I thought it would, but that doesn't mean I won't be able to get more in the future. However, if I do order another batch in, it's probably going to be about a 2-month waiting period. So that's kind of how it goes with the industry. You know, you can't get these overnight, so to speak. It takes a little bit of time to get these manufactured for us. So, and I guess the last thing I wanted to say was the Black Hunter itself has just been, you know, really, like I said earlier, really a nice shooting bow by most people that have gotten back to us. And you can check out our feedback on our website. Go to the Black Hunter, go down the bottom, check out their feedback, and you'll see it's been excellent. However, I would say there are a couple places on the internet that I've seen, and I'm not going to really go into saying where they are, but there have been a couple people that have badmouthed the Black Hunter, and I kind of get it. I kind of get their drift where they're coming from. More than likely, in my opinion, these are possibly bowyers or friends of bowyers across the United States who are custom bowyers, and they're not real happy with the Black Hunter longbow because for this kind of money and this performance, they cannot compete. So there's been a little bit of bad mouthing of the bow out there, saying it's junk, it's garbage, and this and that. And that's really not the case. So I just wanted to let everybody know that, hey, you can't believe everything you read on the internet as far as, you know, when it comes to like bad mouthing a bow. So anyways, I appreciate you coming today and joining us here. And I guess the last thing I wanted to say, maybe for the tip of the day, would be like, when you're out shooting and you wear a glove or a tab, I'll tell you what, one thing that really works nice is you put a little baby powder on there and you just move that around like that on your glove or your tab. Keeps it dry, gives you a nice smooth release, and you might smell like you're changing a baby's diaper, but hey, it all works on when you're out on the range and going around this, you know, your scorecard. So it just works very well. Makes the glove very smooth when you keep rubbing that in. And after so many shots, yeah, you gotta give it a little touch of powder again. But I've used baby powder for the last 25 years. Works great. So anyways, that's it for today. I want to thank you for joining us, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you next time right here at Twig Archery. Remember to shoot twig and score big. Catch you next time.